Have you ever wondered why, no matter what you try, that stubborn belly fat just refuses to go away? You cut calories, you hit the gym, you try every trending diet out there, and yet nothing seems to move that midsection. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. Millions of people silently fight this battle every single day, feeling frustrated, confused, and honestly, a little defeated. But here is the thing. This video is not another generic list of weight loss tips you have already heard 100 times before. What you are about to watch is a complete, step-by-step roadmap, one that actually ties everything together. Think of it as your personal mission guide to finally understanding and conquering belly fat for good. So stay with me, because this changes everything. If you have tried diets, workouts, and supplements, but still cannot seem to shake that stubborn belly fat, you are not alone, and more importantly, you are not doing anything wrong. The real problem is that most people are only solving one piece of a much larger puzzle. They fix their eating, but ignore their hormones. They exercise, but never address their sleep. They take supplements, but keep habits that silently cancel out all their progress. That is exactly why results stay out of reach. Today, this video is going to change that completely. We are going to walk through 3 powerful sections together. First, the basics of what to do. Second, things you can add to speed up fat loss. And third, things you must remove or avoid. Stay until the end, because every section builds on the last. Let me tell you about someone named Mark. A friend told him that eating 6 small meals a day was the ultimate secret to losing weight. So Mark followed that advice religiously for months, eating every 2 to 3 hours, convinced he was doing everything right. But instead of losing belly fat, he kept gaining more of it, especially around his midsection. Sound familiar? Here is what nobody told Mark. Every single time you eat, your body releases insulin. Insulin is a fat storage hormone, and when it stays elevated throughout the day, your body simply cannot burn fat. It is biologically impossible. The more frequently you eat, the more insulin spikes you create. That is why the foundational shift starts here, reducing your meals to just 2 to 3 times per day. This one change alone can begin transforming how your body handles fat. Think of your insulin levels like a sleeping bear. Every time you eat, even something small, you poke that bear awake. And a wide-awake bear means 0 fat burning. That is exactly what happens when you snack throughout the day. Your body never gets the chance to shift into fat-burning mode because insulin stays elevated from morning until night. This is where intermittent fasting comes in. And before you tune out, this is not some trendy diet. It is simply the logical next step after reducing your meal frequency. If 3 meals a day already helps lower insulin, imagine what happens when you bring that down to 2. Start with 3 solid meals, no snacking between them. Once that feels natural, gradually compress your eating window. Small steps, real results. Your body will thank you. Now let's talk about protein, and this one might surprise you. There was a guy who decided to go all in on protein, thinking more was always better. Chicken at every meal, protein shakes between meals, eggs for snacks. He was convinced he was doing everything right. But his belly fat was not budging. What he eventually discovered was that too much protein can actually spike insulin, just like carbohydrates can. The body converts excess protein into glucose through a process called gluconeogenesis, and that triggers fat storage all over again. The sweet spot most people do well with is somewhere between 3 to 6 ounces of protein per meal, adjusted based on your body size and current stress levels. Higher stress means your body needs slightly more. But here is the most freeing part of this entire section. If you sit down for a meal and you genuinely have no hunger for protein, it is completely fine to skip it. Eat mindfully, not obsessively. Now let's talk about vegetables. And before you scroll past, hear this out, because this part genuinely surprised most people who first learned it. The goal is 7 to 10 cups of vegetables every single day. That sounds like a lot, but here is why it matters so deeply. Think of your liver like a massive processing plant. As your body starts releasing stored fat, that plant has to handle everything coming through. Without enough vegetables, the plant gets backed up, congested, overwhelmed. The result is a fatty liver, which makes fat loss nearly impossible. Vegetables also deliver potassium, and your body needs around 4,700 milligrams daily, far more than most people realize. A simple habit that works beautifully is eating a large salad first, then following it with a smaller portion of protein. Try it consistently. Now let us talk about two final pillars that complete the basics. First, eliminating sugar and refined carbs. And this goes far beyond candy and soda. Hidden sugars are lurking in bread, pasta, cereal, crackers, and even alcohol. Every single one of these spikes insulin and keeps your body locked in fat storage mode. Then there is fat, and this one surprises people. Think about someone who avoided fat for years, eating low-fat everything, yet still struggled with cravings and energy crashes. Here is what changed everything for them. Fat is the one macronutrient that does not spike insulin at all. It actually bridges the gap between meals, keeping you satisfied without triggering hunger or blood sugar chaos. That realization was genuinely life-changing. And it can be for you too. That wraps up the basics, and honestly, these 5 pillars alone can transform your results completely. Now that you have the basics locked in, let us talk about the things you can actively add to speed up your results. Think of this section as your fat-burning toolkit. First up is MCT oil. This is a special type of fat derived from coconut oil, and what makes it remarkable is how quickly your body converts it into usable energy. Unlike other fats, MCT oil essentially turbocharges your fat-burning engine. Next, let us revisit potassium in a deeper way. Beyond supporting your liver, potassium actually helps heal insulin resistance, which is the root cause of why so many people cannot lose weight despite trying everything. Then there is apple cider vinegar, an ancient remedy now validated by modern science. Cultures around the world used it for centuries, and today, research confirms it genuinely lowers blood sugar and improves insulin sensitivity remarkably. 2 more powerful additions worth knowing about are chromium and B vitamins, especially vitamin B1. Both play a meaningful role in regulating insulin and helping your body respond to it more efficiently. If your cells are not responding well to insulin, fat loss becomes incredibly difficult. Chromium helps bridge that gap, and so do B vitamins. A simple and natural way to get your B vitamins is through nutritional yeast, which is affordable, easy to find, and surprisingly effective. Now, shifting gears into movement. High-intensity interval training often sounds intimidating, but it does not have to be. Think short, powerful bursts of effort, followed by generous rest periods. You are not grinding away for hours. The real magic here is that this style of training spikes growth hormone, one of the most potent fat-burning hormones your body produces naturally. Now here is something most people completely overlook. Sleep. Meet Sarah, someone who was eating clean, hitting the gym consistently, doing everything right, yet the scale refused to budge. Her missing piece was not another workout or stricter diet. It was sleep. Once she started prioritizing 7 to 9 hours a night, the weight finally began to move. Here is why. Growth hormone, one of the most powerful fat-burning hormones in your body, is primarily released during deep sleep. While you rest, your body is actively breaking down fat and repairing muscle. That nap you keep skipping, or that extra hour of sleep you sacrifice for late-night scrolling could honestly do more for your fat loss than an additional workout session. Remember, your body does not burn fat during exercise. It burns fat during recovery. Sleep is where the real transformation happens. Now we enter the third and final section, things to remove or avoid. And the first thing on that list might surprise you, chronic stress. Here is the thing most people overlook. Cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone, directly blocks fat loss. It tells your body to hold on to fat, especially around the belly. Consider someone who cleaned up their diet completely. No sugar, no junk, no snacking. But they were surrounded by draining relationships and consumed hours of negative news every single day. And the weight simply would not move. That is cortisol working against them. So what can you do? Start by limiting news consumption to once a day. Temporarily distance yourself from relationships that leave you feeling drained. And explore techniques like acupressure, which can physically release stored stress patterns from your body. Now let's cover the final obstacles. Certain vegetables and excess nuts can cause bloating, making your midsection appear larger than it actually is. Menstrual cycle irregularities driven by estrogen dominance can make fat loss nearly impossible for women. MSG, hidden inside processed and restaurant foods, quietly disrupts your metabolism without you ever realizing it. Overtraining without adequate recovery keeps cortisol elevated, working directly against your progress. And chronic constipation means your body is holding on to waste and toxins that add both weight and inflammation. Every single point in this video ties back to one central truth. Belly fat loss is not simply about eating less and moving more. It is about identifying and removing the hidden obstacles silently working against you. Treat this video as your personal checklist. Revisit it regularly. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.